They grew up like vinyl records, spinning quietly beneath unseen needles of change. Every scratch became music, every silence holding stories they never spoke. If you listen closely, you can still hear it inside them. The 1970s were not just years. They were atmosphere. Television glowed softly, but conversations glowed even brighter. Children rode bikes until streetlights flickered like evening guardians. Yet emotional language felt surprisingly narrow. Many homes carried love, but rarely discussed feelings directly. Psychologists call this emotional minimization, a quiet generational inheritance. It wasn't cruelty. It was survival shaped by context. Parents, who endured wars and shortages, valued toughness over tenderness. So, children learned early that tears required privacy. They discovered that competence earned praise more reliably than vulnerability. Attachment theory suggests responsiveness builds secure emotional foundations, yet responsiveness in that era often meant providing, not probing. Fathers showed devotion through work, not words. Mothers stretched themselves thin between duty and quiet dreams. Children sensed stress but rarely saw it explained, so they became careful observers of adult moods. Hyper-awareness formed, a subtle radar scanning for conflict. This sensitivity later looked like strength in workplaces. It also felt like anxiety in intimate relationships. Many grew skilled at self. Before adolescence truly arrived, latchkey afternoons taught independence. Alongside unspoken loneliness. No smartphones. Interrupted boredom. Imagination filled the silence. Board games, mixtapes, and handwritten notes carried social meaning. Connection required effort. Effort deepened perceived value. Delays were normal. Anticipation strengthened emotional endurance. Gratification rarely arrived instantly. Shaping patience in subtle ways, quietly reinforced delayed reward. Pathways. Neuroscience now associates that with stronger impulse. Regulation, yet regulation sometimes masked unmet attachment needs. Some adults from that decade struggle naming their feelings. Alexithymia describes difficulty identifying internal emotional states. It develops when emotions are felt, but not mirrored. You may recognize that blankness during conflict. Words disappear, replaced by physical tension or withdrawal. This isn't emotional weakness, it's learned protection. Protection once kept a child safe in unpredictable environments. The 1970s also carried cultural upheaval and shifting identities. Divorce rates climbed. Gender roles recalibrated. Expectations trembled. Children sensed instability beneath disco rhythms and colorful optimism. They internalized adaptability as a survival trait. Adaptable children become resilient adults. Often admired, yet constant adaptation can erode a stable sense of self. Who am I without responding to everyone else? That quiet question echoes in many from that era. Work became identity because work felt measurable. Emotions felt less predictable, less controllable. Achievement offered tangible proof of worth. Praise for productivity sometimes replaced affection for being. If you relate, notice the softness beneath your competence. There is often a child still waiting for reflection. Research on attachment wounds shows healing begins with awareness, not blame, not resentment, simply gentle recognition. Many from the 1970s mastered Stoicism beautifully. Stoicism protected families, paid mortgages, sustained commitments. But Stoicism also discouraged asking for help. Help implied dependence, and dependence felt dangerous. So intimacy sometimes becomes a quiet battlefield. One partner longs for emotional disclosure. The other freezes. Freezing is not indifference. It is nervous system history. The body remembers decades older than conscious thought. You might notice discomfort when praised for feelings. Compliments about strength feel safer than tenderness. That preference reveals early conditioning more than character. Cultural messages reinforced masculinity without vulnerability were encouraged strength, yet often carried emotional labor silently. Both genders inherited conflicting psychological scripts promising independence while craving connection. Internal tug-of-war can feel exhausting. There is beauty within this generation's wiring. They know how to endure seasons without constant validation. They appreciate face conversation in an algorithmic world. They respect privacy because childhood privacy mattered. They remember boredom as fertile ground for creativity. There is psychological wealth in that: memory, delayed gratification, observational skill, practical resilience. These are not small qualities in uncertain times, yet resilience does not erase emotional hunger. Many feel guilty admitting they needed more affection. Guilt grows from comparison with harder historical struggles. But pain is not a competition across generations. Your unmet needs remain valid, regardless of context. Emotional neglect can be subtle, almost invisible. No shouting, no violence, just absence of mirroring. A child shares fear. An adult dismisses it kindly. Don't worry becomes don't feel over time. Gradually, the child stops reporting inner weather. Storms are handled privately. Sunlight displayed publicly by adulthood. This split feels natural. Natural